and thanks for watching this YouTube tutorial. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to generate a resource in Primavera P6 schedule, add that resource to the P6 activities within the Primavera P6, assign the resource, and finally cost load your schedule for your construction project. So the first step is to generate a resource for your schedule. So there's two ways to do it. Like you can go to Enterprise, click on the resource, or you go click on top of this little guy here in the left column basically. So I go to Enterprise, go to Resources, and now I'm gonna create a resource. As you see, it is blank here, there's no resource. So what I'm gonna do is generate one. So either you can click on the top left column plus button and generate a resource, or you just go on the right column, like hit on the plus button. So you just create a resource, and what you want to like name your resource. Let's put, for example, cobble bridge. I just call it cobble bridge. I just want to push it on the left a little bit, hit this arrow button, and now my resource is generated. Simple. So the next step is to just go and add that resource to the activities. So as you see, if I click on any of these activities, there's no resource assigned to these activities. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on each of them one by one and add resource to them. So for example, for PA00 activity, I'm gonna add a resource I created. So I just call it cobble bridge. I'm gonna add that resource. The same thing. The next one is project or, because this is as start milestone. So for the start milestone, you cannot add a resource. So for example, the next activity is PA10. You just click add, and the same thing, go to PA20, add resource, the same resource you generated. So that's how you do it. This is the first way to add the resource you created to P6 activities. So the easier way is to click on top of one of the activity, hold the shift button from your PC, and go all the way up to where you wanted to add that resource to. So you see, like all the activities I wanted to add that resource to is highlighted. I just hit the right button. I just go to assign resources, and I assign that resource. I'm hitting the plus button. Now all these activities which I highlighted was assigned to that resource, which is named as cobble bridge. So basically you add that resource to those activities. You created a resource, you add that resource to the activity. Now the next step is to assign that resource. So what I'm going to do is go to the project, resource assignment, and see only the activities I selected has that resource. There's more activities within this P6 schedule, as you see all the way down below, but only those activities I selected just a few seconds ago has that resource. So what I'm gonna do is, like in the resource assignment, I'm gonna create two columns. One column called budgeted cost, another column cost, actual cost basically. So I just go to column, customize. In the cost section, I just hit the budgeted cost, bring it on the right column, bring it all the way down, and hit on the actual cost, bring it all the way down too. So widen a little bit those columns to make sure that you see them. And now, like the next step is to basically create two columns here as well. So that is going to the column, hit your cursor here, go to the cost, say budgeted total cost or budgeted cost that we added just a second ago. What I'm gonna do is budgeted total cost, bring it to that side of the column, and actual total cost. bring it on the right column as well. So now you have two columns created here. So what you want to do right now is to basically add cost to your activities, or in other words, load cost to your P6 activities. So for example, how much I budgeted cost for uh, develop, submit glass cracking system, shop drawings, submittal. How much I initially budgeted cost. When I bid this project, how much was my budget for this specific item? Obviously, some of the project activities doesn't have like a budgeted cost because they were bidded as a bulk cost, but now I gotta like put how much my budgeted cost for this activity is. So I just say the budgeted cost for this activity is, for example, $5,000, and I go to the next activity. I just say, for example, this one is $3,000. I just go to the next activity, which is activity DES20, issue notice to proceed with design. I just call it $7,000, and the same thing all the way down below. So you just put, for example, $10,000 and go into the next activity, which is, for example, $71,000. Just put your budget, how much you budget for your activity. So this is one way to dial in the cost, the budgeted cost for your P6 activities. And the other way to do that is just going to resource assignment, click here. In the budget cost, you just click on top of like each of these activities that you add a resource to. You just, for example, say 1,600, for example. This is how you basically do it another way. 7,000, for example, 6,000. 60,000, for example, do it like 2,000. That is how you add your budget cost to your P6 activities. Now you have added your budgeted cost. So this is how you basically load costs to your P6 schedule. And when you do the actual total cost update, that is when your project starts and your productions continue. You have the percent complete for each activities. That is when you put your actual total cost. And the actual total cost, in other words, is achieved through the production and completion of each activities. So upon completing your activities, let's say you completed 20%, 10%, 15%, or 100%, and how much is that actual cost and how much you accrued the actual cost to that activities. That is how you update the actual cost. This is how you basically add the resource, create a resource, assign a resource, and basically put your budgeted cost into your P6 schedule. For future tutorials, please make sure to subscribe the channel, hit the ring, and just stay tuned. Thanks for watching.